Good morning. This is the video for the notes for plant hormones. For this set of notes, you're going to need your notebook, something to write with, and then here's this piece of paper that you're going to be writing your notes on. So the system that we didn't get to with our models is hormones, and plants have hormones just like humans do. There's do different things, and so we're going to talk about some of the things that hormones do. All right, so your first box is auxin. Okay. Auxin is a hormone that promotes growth. Okay. Hormones in plants do really two things. They either help the plant grow or they keep the plant from growing. So auxin is one that promotes growth, and one of its main functions is to elongate, which means like to make it longer, cells in stems and leaves. One of the reasons that plants need auxin is to be able to find sunlight. So when there's a plant and then the sun's over here, the stem on this dark side over here will start creating auxin, and it'll bend the stem towards the sunlight so the leaves get the full amount of sun that they need to do photosynthesis. Okay, so your next box is also a hormone that promotes growth. So these are the gibberellins. The most fun name for a hormone that there could be, gibberellins. Okay, this also promotes growth. Yes, you do need to write this down. Okay. So the job of gibberellins is to stimulate germination. We talked about germination when we were planting our seeds. Germination is when the little seed starts to grow into a little plant. And it also helps to elongate the stem, which in this case means to grow taller, to outcompete other plants for sunlight. And then it also stimulates flowering. So it is one of the hormones that helps plants grow flowers and then to start the flowering process. Okay. So gibberellins, they make plants grow taller. It's the worst plant ever. And then it also stimulates a plant to start growing a flower. So that's like a flower bud. Okay. So the next one are the cytokinins, and you should vaguely be like, that word looks like another word that I know, which is cytokinesis, and you would be correct. It is very similar to the word cytokinesis. This is one that also promotes growth, and this promotes cell division. Which includes cytokinesis. Okay, that means it grows, and then it will repair itself if it is damaged. This is what causes plants to grow taller, to grow leaves, to grow more leaves. The cytokinins are what are responsible for the cell division. Okay? And if just as it here, we're gonna go PMAT, just so you remember. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. All right, and then the last one that we're going to talk about is ethylene. And actually, you all are familiar with ethylene, even though you didn't know that you are. So anytime you or your parents have bought bananas and you left them sitting out and then they turn black, that is because of ethylene. Anytime that you've bought an apple and then you have let it get squishy and soft, that's because of ethylene. In fact, anytime that you eat a ripened fruit, it's because of ethylene. All right, so this is one that inhibits, there's an I here, growth. Okay, or stops, prevents. That's what inhibit means. So it's responsible for ripening fruit. It's also responsible for opening the flowers that the gibberellins helped grow. And it also is responsible for the shedding of leaves in the fall. Prepare for winter. All right, so ethylene is the only one that we're talking about that isn't actually an inhibitor of growth. So a trick for ripening fruit, if you want, like, let's say you wanted to make banana bread and you have very, very green bananas and you're like, no, here's my bananas. Wow, I'm a great artist. You can put them into a bag. And what that does, like a paper bag, it actually catches the ethylene that the bananas are releasing and holds it around it like putting air into a balloon. And because you're capturing all the ethylene, it ripens the fruit faster than if you just let it sit on your counter. So yes. All right. So the next part, you should have that written in all of the boxes. We're going to fill in this. All right. So, all right. So plants actually respond to stimuli, just like a person. Like if you touch something that's hot and you're like, ah, that was hot. Plants can do that too, just in a different way, right? So this is based on information that it detects from its environment. Plants know what's going on. They're not just sitting there like unaware. They know what's happening, all right? And when they figure out what's happening, plant cells will release chemical, text messages, because that's what hormones are. It's like a text message to be like, yo dude, start doing this, and then that's like, they're like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll do that. That's all a hormone is. It's like a chemical text message or a hormone that causes an action to take place. So cause and effect. Something happens, the plant is like, oh dude, we gotta, so they text their cell and they're like, hey, you need to do this. And they're like, all right, we'll do that. And then they do it, okay? That's all hormones are. In your body and in plants and in anything else that has hormones, they're just like text messages, but in chemicals instead of words. All right, so down here at the bottom, you're gonna fill in the stimuli, and then we will write what happens after the stimuli and then what the reaction is. So this is the cause, and this is the effect, and this is how that takes place. All right, so our first stimuli is that there is not enough light. Oh no, what do we do? So when there's not enough light, auxin is released, and it causes cells on the dark side of the plant to grow or elongate, bending the plant to the light. Right now, if you got up and you walked over to the window and you looked at my plants, my mint and my herbs, you can see that they are pressed up against the window like, please let us out, because the auxin has grown on the side of the plant that's in the classroom, and it has made them bend towards the window, which is the light source, and now they're pressed up against it like they're desperate for light. This is something called phototropism. Photo meaning light, and tropism is just a response. So plants respond to light, okay? All right, so our next stimuli is that warmer weather equals that spring is here. Remember we talked about how plants can detect the temperature, and they do a lot of things based off of temperature, which is actually why climate change is very damaging to an environment, because a lot of things base their actions on the temperatures that they are exposed to. All right, so warmer weather indicates spring is here, so that means gibberellins released cause seeds to germinate and flowers to grow. Now we're about to see warmer temperatures, hopefully more consistently, which means it's about to be wildflower season in Texas. And so you'll start to see the plant grow, and it won't have any flowers. And then when you wait a few days, then all of a sudden it grows, and you're gonna see bluebonnets everywhere. So many bluebonnets everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And then you won't see them anymore. That is all because of gibberellins. Gibberellins cause that seed to start germinating because of the warmer weather. It grew, and then it started to grow flowers, okay? So then our reaction here is that the plants grow and flower. This is kind of like a cycle, which is why certain things are considered to be in season in certain parts of the year. For instance, strawberries this is a good month for buying strawberries. If you go to the store, they're gonna be real nice and sweet, compared to like if you went and bought them like at the end of summer, they're gonna be kind of soury and like gross tasting, because this is the season for strawberries to grow. Their gibberellins are being released, and it's causing them to grow and flower and then produce fruit. All right, so the next stimuli is if you forget to water your plants, or you have a plant in a place that doesn't get rain all the time, this is water becomes scarce, or there's not enough. All right, so what happens here is the cytokinins cause the roots to grow longer and wider. Okay, so basically this is, so you have some dirt and you have a plant, and then it has some roots, okay? When it's not exposed to a lot of water, the plant will be like, oh, crap, we're real thirsty. I'm gonna try to find some water, guys. All right, we're gonna go look for some water. We'll find some, I promise. And the roots start to grow bigger because this way they have more access to water than just these tiny roots right here. And then if they don't find water, eventually they will die. But our reaction then is plants get access to more water. Okay, so because the cytokinins cause the roots to grow, it's allowing them to have more surface area to collect more water. All right, and our last one that we're gonna do is wrong paper. Colder temperature means winter is coming. So in the winter, there's not a lot of water, there's less sunlight. Plants kind of need to shut down, not all plants, but the flowering plants definitely have to kind of shut down their processes to like wait the winter out and then come back in the spring. Okay, so when the weather gets colder, this is when ethylene ripens the fruit and makes leaves fall. Which is why it's called fall, because stuff's falling off the trees. So that's why in America, at least, the fall is a big harvest season. Many things become ripe in the fall. The leaves turn pretty colors and then they fall off, and that's helping the tree conserve energy because it's not trying to provide water to all of the leaves anymore, because it knows it's about to not have that much water available, and it needs to conserve its energy. So all the leaves fall off, all the fruit falls off, it gets rid of everything, and it's like we're just gonna wait until spring comes. So the reaction here is that the plants are ready for their winter naps. Okay? Again, it's not necessarily all plants that do this, but there's a lot of plants that this is just one reaction. There can be others. Okay, so you're gonna take this and you're gonna tape it onto page 107 in your notebook, like this. Okay, so page 107, tape it there.